In this video, we'll be talking about how to get your mortgage paid off as quickly as possible. You have watched my previous couple videos on various different topic, investment, how much money cost us in interest. But the truth is, our biggest debt is our mortgage. But we will try to cover in this video overall our all debt, how quickly we can get rid of it so we can start creating our wealth. So let's begin. So where to find the calculator that we're going to be using so you can actually do your own calculations and see the outcome. You would go to slavicd.com, which you will click on mortgage calculator, and that will take you to this calculator right here. So in this calculator, I have same calculator copied 4 times from the left to the right. You see the first two, then you have the third one and the fourth one. So you can actually run various different calculations at the same time and see options, especially if you have a mortgage, you have a car payment, and you maybe have some credit card debt, and you want to actually calculate and see which ones would be the wisest way how to get there. But before I show that and the process, first I want to show you guys is how big does a difference make when on an interest when you pay $50,000 as a one single additional payment at various different time of your 30-year term. So let's look at the first calculations. What I did is I made in the first one, I put in a $50,000 payment on the first month of your 30-year term. Where we went on the second calculation, and I did that on the 60th, which is 5 years later. So the next one I did at 120, which I'll show you guys. That's going to be our third calculator, 50,000, and then the fourth one I did at 180, which is will be 15 years. So we did at the beginning 5 years, 10 years, and 15 years. And you can see a $50,000. So let's look right now the difference, and we're going to look at the difference, on investments, so we don't have to, go. Actually, let's do that. Go at the bottom. So we're gonna go from the left to the right. So if you made a payment of $50,000 at the beginning of your terms, you will get your home paid off in 250 months. While if you made that the payment 5 years later, you're still going to own $32,000 on your mortgage. If you made that payment 10 years later, you will have $56,000 left on your mortgage. So you guys can see how much more longer it's going to take you by making that payment later, that same amount of payment. What I'm trying to show you guys, the sooner you can get the maximum amount of dollar put against your mortgage, the faster you will have it paid off and the more you will have time left to invest into your wealth. Let's look when we actually do that on 15 years. So on the 10 years, we have 56,000 left. When we made that payment on 15 years later, we see a remaining of 75,000. So we also can look at the investment. If we capped at 5%, we would only have a 0.1 million, so pretty much 100,000, compared to 135,000, compared to 173,000, and compared to 222,000. So I think it's fair to say that the best option is to pay as maximum amount in the beginning of your mortgage. The sooner you make those maximum payments, the more you will reduce your interest and reduce the amount of time you'll be paying for your mortgage. So let's right now go and redo and delete all that. So all of these calculators supposed to go back to normal, and I'm just what I'm doing, and I'm just putting the formulas back in. That's supposed to be. So as we do further calculations, we have accurate information throughout. So as you guys can see, all of those right now came out to where it's going to take us 30 years to pay off that mortgage in every calculator. So the first one, we're going to leave it as always, the standard way, as if you took 30 years to pay your mortgage. We know these days we refinance our couple of years, so we honestly will never pay off. So refinancing is not an option unless you can get a good deal on interest. That's why you can always go in and say, okay, I took a mortgage of 30,000. If I refinance right now, let's say my balance right now is 280,000, and I get a 2.3% deal. So is it worth it? You know, you're restarting your 30 years if you refinance, but now I'm saving almost $600, about $550 I'm saving on payment. So if I apply that $550, I want you guys to see in what case this actually would be a good idea to refinance. You're refinancing not to save yourself some money. You're refinancing so you can actually save an interest while still paying the same amount. So your current mortgage is 5%, and you're able to get yourself to a 2.3, but you're still going to pay the same amount. Actually, let's reduce that so our number monthly total payment will actually be the same. So 500, 40, 33 probably. 533. Let's check this out. So we got them out about the same. There's only 2 cents different on both sides. So, but right now, refinancing and still paying the same amount as if you paid before, you able to by still investing in 2.3, you'll be able to have 275,000. But the most important part is you'll be able to become debt free on that mortgage at a month 212 instead of at the month 360, which means you just saved yourself 148 months. Ain't that great? By refinancing for a better interest. And then of course you can invest those money at higher interest and actually start building your wealth quite quick. So that is also kind of look at your options and use the calculator to see, is it worth it, and what are you going to do with the money. Now the most important question of it all is, how do I get my mortgage paid off the way it is? I don't want to go refinance. I'm already have a good interest, and the interest that I'm happy, but I want to get my home become debt free so I can start focus on building my wealth as quick as possible. So first option, you want to look at all your debt. Every single debt you want to put into these calculators and see which one, if you start applying your maximum amount. Let's say example, you have 300,000 on a mortgage. You also have 30,000 on your car, and your mortgage is 5%. Your car, let's say, at 6%. And you have $500 extra, and your car is at 5 years. Yeah, let's do 5-year payment on your car. So did it already recalculated? So at 60 months, you will have your car paid out, but net and your payment is around $579. But your question is very simple. If I apply, I have extra $500. If I apply that $500 here compared to applying that $500 to my mortgage, where will it be more beneficial for me? So, over the years of, and this is where you actually guys go into play and kind of play with the numbers. So, if I apply extra $500, I'll be able to pay off my car on a 29th month. So pretty much on a 30th month. So you pretty much saved up yourself 30 more months by applying extra. Now, here if you apply that $500 and you kept on paying on the car for five, so here's something that you guys might not be able to do without copying this sheet, which you would go up actually by file, make a copy, and then you'll be able to change these numbers right here. But what you're looking for is saying, hey, if I apply $500 here to my mortgage instead of car and leave the car as is, I will become debt with my mortgage on 216 days. So we're going to actually 216 month. So we're going to write that down. 216 month. Now, if I did not apply that payment to my mortgage first because I want to first get my car paid off because it all depends on the interest, and so you're not so I'm going to not apply the $500 for the first 29 months because I have to apply that car. But now, since I already paid off my car, I'm going to apply right now the whole amount, which we're going to look here, which is $1,079, $1,080. Because right now you just paid off your car. Right now you freed up the money. But starting from the month 30th, going forward, right now I will apply towards my mortgage. Have you seen how much the amount just instantly changed? So, let's go back and we couldn't actually use the third calculator. So we still have the 30,000, 300,000, 30 years at 5%. But remember, if here we were doing $500 a month instead of paying off the car. So we would have 416,000 by the in retirement plan, where here we have 763,000. So leaving it as is and applying extra $500 towards mortgage, not exactly a wise thing to do, because as we can see, by paying off your car, paying off your car, paying off your credit card, and you want to choose which one will give you the most return by in saving in interest, which one you need to pay off for, and that's where you're going to play with a calculator. But as we can see here, it says by paying off our car first and then taking the amount. Right now, we're going to save not having a car payment that we're paying and applying it that next month towards our mortgage. We got a better deal here than we would do here. Now, here you're going to say, okay, Slavic, hold on. Let us say we're going to pay that 500. We're going to pay the $500 towards our mortgage, and when our car is paid off, we will apply that 579 additional towards our payment here at okay, where are we? At the month 60. So it's 580 we're going to add here. Okay, we're going to add 580. Actually, 580 plus. So 1080, which would be here. And from here, we will actually do only 500. Oops. How is that going to play out? And let's see actually, how will it play out? So you're applying towards the mortgage, the $500. You're letting the car payment pay that minimum, but you're applying your extra towards the mortgage. And then when the car got paid off, you're applying that payment that you paid the car towards the mortgage as well. So right now we're looking at the calculation and we're like, okay, which one is better? This one we're gonna have 761 compared to the first one, 763. So honestly, we have a little bit of about $2,000 difference. Actually, $1,500 difference. By first paying off your car and then paying off your mortgage. So the question is literally yours. Which way you want to approach it? Do you want to apply all of it towards your mortgage and keep your car on a regular payments, standard payment, or you want to actually first get apply towards your car payment? But playing with this calculator and looking at various different options, it will allow you to make the right decision, because $1,500 is still a lot of money, right? Why not have that, $1,500 saved? So that's where you're going to play with your math and you're going to see which option is better. Hey, let's put it this way. It is a little bit too confusing for you. You're willing to say, hey, Slavic, I'll pay you a couple $100. Can you sit down with me and help me with this calculator, put a business plan or a plan, how do I proceed? Because you can buy programs. There's programs out there that cost thousands of dollars to do what I'm showing you here that you can do by yourself for free. Or, like I said, hey, contact me, offer me a couple $100, and I can sit down and tell you, hey, first we're going to focus on this, then we're going to focus on this, then we're going to focus on based on the information as we play with the calculator and put that together. And we can do all that over the Zoom. So we can play with these numbers and get that results that you're looking for. So I'm going to right now undo this, and I'm going to show you guys one more thing. And right now we're going to just focus on the mortgage. Example, let's say you don't have no other debt, and mortgage is the only form of debt that you have. So we're going to undo all this. Yeah, it takes a little while when you play with your calculator. Okay, where are we at? Okay, so we are here at 500, so we're going to delete that so we can go back to our standard. We are at 0 here. We're also everything balanced out, and we do have something somewhere here. We have that 500. That means we also have this 500 as well. Okay, so all of their calculators right now are at 0 with a $300,000. So I'm going to leave the left one, the first one, as is, as if you go standard. But on the right side, we're going to actually do something quite interesting and unique. And I want you guys to kind of follow. If you guys have to go back and rewatch this video a couple times, go ahead and rewatch it. Because at the end of the day, it's how much you will save. The better you understand the system, the more you will have a chance of saving by utilizing this calculator. And I'm not charging anything for you to actually utilize. Take advantage of it as much as you need. So, what we're going to do is we're going to say, okay, We're going to go and open a home equity line of credit or your personal line of credit, any kind of a line of credit that you can attach it to your bank account as an overdraft. So let's say example, you have zero in your bank account and you went out and you wrote $200 check. So whenever you write that check or you use a debit card, the money will be pulled from the credit line to cover the balance on your check. Of course, I do not know. Maybe the banking system has changed. You need to look at bank, talk with the bank, and see which banks still offer that system, because I know a lot of things has changed over the years. But the goal is to find a way where your overdraft will be covered out of your credit line. Your credit line wants to be, you want to have your credit line is about 4 times your total monthly income of your household. You know, the amount that actually will be used towards reducing the debt. So, if kids does not want to tip in, then maybe you don't calculate your kids' income in this situation. But the income that comes in and it goes towards covering bills and mortgage is that income that you want to actually calculate in the month, in your total month. So let's say example, you have a $5,000 of household income. That means you want to get a credit line of at least $20,000. First of all, you want to make sure you have enough of cushion in case of an emergency that you can tap in. That's one of the reasons why you want to have more than 5,000. And second, just in case you wanted to make that, extra bigger payment. Plus, where you don't go over your over that 30% limit that they're starting to raise interest and other stuff. So there's a couple things that you want to kind of make sure that you're protected. So 4 times your household income is what you're looking for. So let's say your household income is $5,000. Plus you have between your savings account and your checking account of a positive balance. So all we're going to do of an extra $1,000. So that means what you're going to do is you're going to take $6,000 that you have right now on your checking account, on your mortgage. I'm sorry, on your checking account, on your savings account, that's all positive balance of $6,000, and you're going to apply it on your first month towards your payment. By applying that $6,000 in payment, you're immediately paying off your home already shorter. Now, you have a zero balance on your checking account, right? But you do have that line of credit also that you have right now a zero balance. So right now, all your checks that you're going to write, checks, debit card payments, all your payments that you're going to pay out of your checking account will automatically will cover out of your line of credit because you just connected your line of credit to your checking account. If that is not allowed, then you pretty much try to get a checks from that credit line that you will be able to write off for your mortgage and other expenses as you need, and maybe use a credit card throughout the month to cover all your debit card transactions, and then use that credit line to pay off your credit card. So there's various different ways you can achieve that if overdraft option is not available. So we've emptied out our checking account to a zero, and now throughout the month you're using your either credit card or your credit line that we're using through your checking account to pay your bills and buy your groceries and everything. So you paid all the so you've got that, you applied your deposits of your income into your checking account, which you covered your credit line, and let's say you paid off your credit line and you have $300 extra left in the end of the month. So you're going to take and you can apply that $300 towards your next mortgage payment. So instead of paying $1,600, you're going to pay that next month $1,910, 46. You're going to repeat the process again throughout the month, and you're going to have, let's say, hey, I have $250 left over this month. in my checking account. You can apply that again towards your mortgage payment. Next month, let's say you're throwing a party for your family, birthday, whatever the maybe holiday, Christmas, whatever the party is, and you're like, you know what, I need $600. So now you're going to run your that line of credit into negative, and it's not going to come up to zero by the end of the month. That means this month you're going to pay your mortgage at minimum, because you next month you're going to repeat the process again, and you're going to get caught up, and you let's say, hey, I only got $12 left, so you're going to apply that $12 to your payment. Now, the following month, not sure whatever happened, and you got, let's say, $400 left in your bank account, and you're going to apply that to your payment. And you're going to continue doing that. And let's say on the month 6, you say, you know what? I'm already saved 30. I'm already, saved. Let's say where we at comparing. And you're going to look at the calculator and you're going to say, you know what? I saved so much by doing this extra payments, and total payment in interest. So 270, 200. So you're saving about $22,000, 21,700, something like that. So you say, you know what? I saved quite a bit of money by doing this extra payments. Why don't I sell that property we're having in the mountains that we never go out to take advantage of? Why don't I get rid of that boat that we have not used it for the last 3 years? And you're going to start looking and say, you know what? Let's get rid of it. Let's get rid of some of the big items that just, it's a deficit. It just cost us in property taxes, but in other fees, but we don't using it. It not bringing us any income. It's just costing us. So let's say you sold $50,000 worth of asset, and you applied it on that month 6. On a month 7, you thought, you know what? Why don't we sell some of our home is too crowded. Why don't we kind of lighten up our home a little? Get rid of some of the stuff we don't need at our home. And you sold another $600 on Facebook or Craigslist or garage sale. So we're going to apply that $600 as well. Now, the rest of the time, you're like, you know what? We kind of reduced our assets. Right now we have less assets, but right now we are focusing on getting our home paid. And for the last remaining term of your mortgage, you kept on paying $300 an average. I'm just saying an average. It can be more or less, but I don't want to actually go for the 360 days and kind of come up with a random number. But you can actually go in and your own calculator to make a copy. You can actually put these numbers in and watch the difference. So in our case, we put in an extra $300 a month. I know some of you can come up with more than $300, especially when you start seeing how this works, how you using your line of credit. Every time it can be personal line of credit, HELOC, home equity line of credit, whatever it is, and you secured it to your bank account, or you actually did, and using checks out of the secured line of credit, as well as your credit card to that, and then you pay it off every single month so you don't pay interest, as one of the first videos that I created on this financial topic, because that's why I broke these things down so you guys can watch each piece separately as I start putting all these puzzles together. And this is actually one of the final puzzles. But if you kind of don't understand exactly how I'm achieving and where I'm going with this, watch the previous videos. It will make sense. Watch over those videos. Watch this video over a couple times. It will make sense. If there's questions, comment, and I will help you guys answer those questions. So, as you continued making an average of $300 additional payment toward that mortgage, now you will have that mortgage completely paid off. by month 186. And if you continue taking that $1,900 a month, which is right here, that's your payments that you do. If you continue taking that $1,900 and applying towards your investment at 5%, you will have almost $500,000 in your investment account by the year 30. You'll also have everything paid off, your home paid off, and enjoying financially free life. This is very similar to Australian one account, which that's as simply as I can explain how we can utilize the concept of Australian one account in United States. And this is how some of these companies that show how to pay off your home is what they're actually using a various different concept. In 2005, I was introduced to United First Financial out of Salt Lake City, where they were actually selling this program for $3,500. But not in a spreadsheet. It's actually, software that you would actually put numbers in, and it'll tell you every single month of what your payments should be at least of, where to pay, which card or whatever to pay first off. The software will calculate all that and actually give you. And when I built this calculator and I showed them in certain cases where they can actually better their situation, they realized that their calculator no longer unique, because they were saying nobody else, this algorithm is so unique, nobody else can break it. And when I showed that I not just break it, I actually saw where in some cases they can actually better the condition, they realize all it is just a math. Right now, if you go in and type in United First Financial, I'm not sure if you can buy that calculator, but it is still available for those people that bought it, because they made a guarantee for those people about the calculator that will be available between 30 to 50 years. Depends on the type of program that they got on. So here I'm saving you 3,500 bucks. I'm saving you other fees. There's the companies out there that charge 50 to 100 to $300 a month just to have access to something similar to this. I'm allowing you to have this free of charge. All you have to do is just figure out and see how you use it. So now, as you paid it off on a month 186 and you kept on investing, that's a $500,000 in your investment account. Just think about what can you do with $500,000 if you kept it in your bank account. And let's say that $500,000, so we're going to use 500,000 in negative. Believe that's it. I have to always kind of no, that's wrong. 600. Let's do this. So if you took that $500,000 at 5% and you kept it at 5%, you'll be able to take out and use for yourself on a monthly basis $2,000 as an income without damaging your investment amount and still holding it around 500,000. Isn't that bad? I think it's actually fairly good. I know I did some videos in the past and I'm not sure, but I did change some formulas. And when I change some formulas, amounts do kind of come back a little bit different. And I'm not sure exactly because what I did change the formulas, nothing did it change other than I included where this side was calculating differently, was including the payment, where before this amount was not included, but it was calculated here. So something somewhere changed, and I, of course, I have not verified the exact amount. But what I'm trying to show is by becoming debt free and putting money into investment account, you can have a nice retirement. Depends on the amount that you achieve. Someone might say, you know what, Slavic, $300 is nothing. We can apply an extra $1,000 a month. Okay. So you decided to apply $1,000 extra a month towards your mortgage, and we're going to leave the first, what is it, 7 months as is. It will help you become debt free on a month 124, which is about, what is it, 10 years, which also will allow you to have over $1 million into your retirement account as an investment. Let's do that number now at $1 million. And now we need to calculate. So $1,000 a little too much. Or it's supposed to be 1,200. Let me check. Yeah, 1,200. Oops, I wrote it in the wrong place. What exactly am I doing wrong here? 19? Yeah, so 1,200. That's what I tried before. So by able to, with $1 million in your savings or in your retirement account at 5% interest, and I spoke in the previous video options where you can invest that maybe even in better percent. And if you guys wanted to go with the option with a mutual fund that I spoke about in the previous video, contact me and I'll contact the person and see how I can get all that set up and have you guys be able to contact them directly and get all that done. So that would give you over $4,000 uh, a, a month able to take at $1 million at 5%. And here we're not going to be calculating how much you can take, at higher percentage. But I want you guys to get an idea what is possible. Actually, let's do this. 8% is more typical on a mutual account, which so wow, okay, $100, $700. So by having an 8% return on your money at $1 million, it will give you $6,600 a month that you're able to pull. So pretty much you're pulling the interest and leaving the principal for it to continue creating you that interest that you can take on a monthly basis. So that's primarily what we're calculating here at. So so that's the amount that we're looking for. Actually, if you yeah, so 6,666. Wow, that's quite a number. Isn't that what we come up when I? Yeah. So about 6,600 is the number that actually you would actually be able to pull and able to live without creating any damage to your principal amount. So I hope this video showed you opportunities, showed you ways how to take control of your financial situation, showed you how to make a difference in your mortgage, and showed you what you can do, how you can do it to achieve that financial freedom sooner than never. As most of us, we do know on the way that we move forward with refinancing and everything, we will never see that freedom. That's why I personally believe out of slavery, how this system is conditioned us into slavery, how you can move from slavery, become free from slavery, and have the freedom and control of your life. So I hope that you can figure this out. If not, contact me and I'll help you figure this out. But end of the day, this can make a difference in your family's life, in your generation's life. If you figure this out and you teach your children and your grandchildren just this simple concept, your generations will have completely a different life and they won't have to be on the slave side. Be blessed.